Okay, then you want to turn on the spindle clockwise again. And then what I'm going to do is I'll put one edge of the cutter over about the middle of the part. That's about where the part is the thickest. And then I'm going to bring up the knee, the Z-axis, and I want to come up and just touch the part with the cutter. Make sure the cutter's rotating. Don't ever touch the part with the cutter unless the cutter's rotating, or you can break the insert. So what I'm going to do is come up till I just touch. Then I'm going to move off the part. Now I'll zero my dial on the knee. Okay, so you loosen the black spring, bring this around to 0 at the little pointer, and then just lightly tighten the ring. Okay. Then I'm going to come up 30 thousandths, 0.03. Okay. There's 10, 20, 30. Then if you turn the handle around, if you bump it, it doesn't move your setting. And then you're just going to hand feed across the part, okay, about this speed. It's not real critical, but you don't want to go too fast. Now you should have to make about 3 passes. As soon as I get the front of the cutter off, then I'll go real fast off the part. If that was the last pass, I won't do that, because you'll notice that the lines on the part will change when you go off real quickly like that. Okay, now we're going to take our 0 to 1 outside micrometer. I'll check and make sure that it zeros when it's closed, and it does. Okay. Now, don't take the part out. Measure it in the vice jaws. Get out toward the middle of it. Gently close the micrometer, and then if you just pull it off, sometimes you'll hit a high spot. Okay, we're at about 440. Okay, the instruction sheet's going to tell you to go to 0.415, 415, plus or minus 10 thousandths. So if I go 30 more, I ought to be about 410, so I'll go about 25. There's 10, 20, 25. And then we'll make a pass. The big pawl, the frame pawl, we can cut from both directions. The handle pawl we can only cut from one direction, and I'll explain why. I'm going to feed all the way off the part slowly so I get a nice constant finish all the way across. This should be our last pass. Now I'll just check it again with the micrometer. And what you need to remember, the bottom surface of the part is still rough cast, so you'll get different measurements, different places on the part, but it's just supposed to be an approximate. Okay, we're at about 422, which is fine. Okay, so that one's done, first operation. Okay, I want to clean the jaws and the parallels again. Now, because of the shape of the handle pawl, when we clamp it, we're only going to be squeezing it at the wide end. So when you put this in the jaws, there's two ways it can go. We can put it like that, or we could turn around and put it like that. Now, I've got the cutter on the right-hand side of the part, coincidentally. Cutter spinning clockwise, so if I start from over there, as the cutter comes over and strikes the part, it's going to be pushing it that way, toward the back jaw. There's nothing over here behind the tip, so if the part moves like that, it can come out. So what you want to do is you want to turn it around. Whichever way the cutter is going to push the part, make sure it pushes the small end against the jaw. So now we're going to clamp it, and this time I'm going to make it really tight, because you're not going to hurt the part. Okay, now my parallels are loose, so again you got to tap the part down. Till the parallels are tight. Okay, then same process. I'll lower the knee a little bit so I'm away from the part. Then I'm going to come across and I'm going to touch off over here where the wide part is. That's usually where it's about the thickest. So I'm going to come up again and just touch like we did before. That. Now I'm going to go back over. I want to start from the right-hand side, so I'm pushing what I call the toe against the jaw. Okay, zero the dial. Come up 30, 10, 20, 30 thousandths. Turn the handle around and make a pass. As soon as I get the front of the cutter off the part, I'm going to go back where I was. I won't do that on the last pass. Okay, and then we'll check our thickness. Okay, we're at about 435. So 435 minus 10, 425, minus 10, 415. These parts were a little thinner than normal. Now this time I'll feed all the way across and off the part, just like I did at the last pass on the other one. So that's one. Okay, so that's our first operation.